The Cancer new moon on July 14th is at 22 degrees of Cancer in your chart, and it is a very important and healing emotional reset from energies that were quite big back in December 2025. That's because this new moon at 22 degrees of Cancer is also the location in your chart where we had the second Jupiter-Chiron square at 22 degrees. This was exact back on December 21st. And at that time, Jupiter in Cancer was illuminating something big in your emotional well-being, big feelings, perhaps stirring up things from the past. This could have been related to family, home, changes in your personal environment, in your private world. This would have made the energies very clear to you around how you were feeling. And the square to Chiron in Aries was the wound, the pain, the insecurity, the doubts, and what was being triggered for you to work through and heal. So this is a new moon that resets and begins something that you were working on or feeling since last December. And this is a starting point that is also a cycle breaker. It's breaking an emotional cycle. It's showing you what you have moved through that was personal, that felt perhaps vulnerable and insecure. And it stirred up much more in the emotional body than expected. It could have been something that felt like it was flooding you. It was coming through quite strongly, but it also had pain associated with it. Now here we are in July, and you've worked through some layers and emotions that you couldn't escape, you couldn't get away from, you had to move through it. And this is a new moon that is inviting you to look at what your personal needs are now, to look at how far you've come in this area of your life and in this part of your healing journey, to also determine with more self-love, self-acceptance, and self-reassurance how to begin in a new cycle now. Every new moon is a beginning point. It's when the sun and the moon are conjunct, which occurs once a month. But again, this is a more important degree point because Jupiter was here, had that square from Chiron, and this signals that you're also moving on, moving forward. Part of a new moon is that it becomes clearer what has closed out and has ended. Another layer to this new moon would be the first 2 weeks of July, showing you what you've had to mature through, responsibly handle, realistically assess, and also make choices that support your well-being, even if it's bringing you into new places in yourself. Now that's because this energy of the past 2 weeks, so the 2 weeks before the new moon, would have been directly related to that Capricorn full moon on June 29th, which is also when Mercury stationed retrograde in Cancer. And that was a full moon that required a stillness and also some type of revelation that was a reality check. Something's not working, something isn't happening, something isn't moving forward. This was a full moon that brought about some messages that ultimately are meant to set you free, but it could have been more emotional than expected. That full moon, that Capricorn full moon, was squaring both Saturn and Neptune, bringing you into greater self-awareness around what is true for you now. What is best for you now? What are you choosing now? And since that full moon, there would have been things you've been working on to adjust, clear out, shift, and change, because we've been required to be more realistic with ourselves about something. So as this Cancer new moon approaches, there is some support for your emotional well-being to feel healthier, happier, more healed, and clearer. There is something you've been working through privately, internally and personally, perhaps even more so than you expected. And this could be one of the turning points where you see how far you've come, especially since December, but also because of what you've had to work through over the past 2 weeks. So with the Cancer new moon, we are asked to soften into ourselves, to be more self-accepting, to be more aware of what you need, of what feels good to you, and to trust what you're feeling, to not diminish it, to not push it away, to not ignore it or reject it, but instead to pull it in closer and to bring it into your heart, to hold it close if it has meaning to you, if it is valuable to you, if it's something that you really love. The Cancer energy reveals what we care about, what is connected to our hearts, and perhaps why. So this is a bigger new moon than perhaps first meets the eye, because there's more layers of it that we've already been in and working through. And there's also a reset here. It's an emotional reset that's going to help you feel like you're turning a page and moving forward, especially if the past 7 months or so have been quite intense. During this past few weeks, we've also seen the Sun in Cancer in a square to Saturn in Aries. Saturn is hanging out at 14 degrees of Aries, preparing to station retrograde on July 26th. And this is the energy of sitting with something, even if it's challenging and hard. Having to make clear choices that honor the new you that is coming forward, the new starts, the new beginnings, the new chapters that we've been discussing throughout 2026. This brings in a sense of, am I in alignment with what I'm truly building and developing? And the Sun in Cancer is now in a separating square from Saturn, setting you free from some type of, it's almost like this intense discomfort that you couldn't rush through, because Saturn requires us to take inventory and take stock. So this has also been a time of assessing the emotional inventory in your life. What are you holding on to and why? What are you holding close and why? What matters to you? What are you realizing is no longer essential or no longer important? Again, personal decisions, maybe some things you've even been wrestling with, because it could feel like it hasn't lined up, like something just hasn't fully clicked yet for you to move on or move forward. But this is a new moon that's going to help with that forward moving energy. It is a cycle breaker new moon. And so you could feel that you've also been gathering the strength, the emotional strength, to do something courageous, different, new, and maybe you weren't fully there yet. It still felt vulnerable, uncertain, kind of even like this energy of not wanting the past to repeat itself. And part of this energetic dynamic is being able to trust yourself more no matter what happens, no matter what unfolds. It's like either way, you're gonna know what to do. Whatever unfolds, You will make the right decision when you trust what you're feeling and what you've determined is important to you. So it's that energy of either way, whatever happens, whatever plays out, however it goes, you're going to be fine. Like, you're going to have new options or new experiences next. It's kind of looking at things as a win-win instead of an either or. It doesn't have to be a win-loss. It can be a whatever happens here, whatever I choose next, whatever I go towards next, it's going to lead me to the next thing and the next thing. And I feel like this is part of healing at a deeper level, whatever that energy in December brought up for you. If this resonates for you, if this is what you've been experiencing. So just know that there could be more emotional intensity that you've been moving through. And it's interesting because I'm seeing it as a web, like a spider's web, and that it looks like it's, branching out in all these different directions. But this is a new moon that brings you into the center point of that web. And it's the center point that's being reset. And it feels like there's this cleansing energy that moves through it. And that aligns with the energy of July. So the Cancer new moon, the energies I'm discussing here are private. This is more your personal world, like maybe what you've been holding, moving through, and feeling. And then the other energies in July that we've been discussing are the bigger picture energies that are happening both in the background and approaching. And those energies are very vibrant, dynamic, action-oriented. And so you could feel that there's things that you've had to work through first in order to move ahead into the next chapter. And part of this energy here in the middle of July is supporting you in doing so. It's helping to clear out the past, clear out what was, clear out things that were deeply hurtful, painful, the losses or the things in your world that didn't go as planned. This is actually ensuring that you've worked through most of that emotional debris so that it doesn't travel forward with you, and that you're able to move into these new chapters that July and August are bringing in, feeling stronger, clearer, more purified, and more healed. So yeah, a lot going on with this Cancer new moon. Again, if this resonates with you, but just know that we are moving through some type of emotional cycle breaking pivot point, and that the second half of this year is very different. It's very different. And so we're going to have more that moves us forward, moves us ahead. And it's interesting too, because some of the energies in the first half of 2026 maybe felt like they dragged on. And the second half of the year into 2027 is much more fast-paced and action-oriented. So it all has a beautiful synergy to it. It all has its own, steps and phases and cycles. But I hope this validates whatever you've been healing and working through. And I hope it gives you a new lease on life. New things to be interested in, excited about, new things to discover, new things to move towards. That is one of the best gifts here of July. So as always, thank you for joining me. And if you want to share in the comments what you have been feeling or what the turning point is for you, your words and your experience might help others and be something that they need to read too. So thank you all for your wisdom and what you offer. You make this community so fantastic. I'm so grateful. So thank you for any of your contributions you'd like to share in the comments below. And I'll be back with another video as we continue to move through a lot of these big energies here in July. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you back here soon.